Hello, good afternoon, everyone. This is Alexander Backman. I'm spearheading this project in Spanish called ALERTA T. ALERTA T means T alert. T alert in English would be an alert with regard to terrorism, the security threats we have right now, conflicts in the world, disasters, earthquakes, epidemics, but the main threat is terrorism, and we understand it greatly. We've been covering this for a while now. We've been talking about it, making the alerts bi-weekly, sometimes weekly. It's difficult, to get this rolling, but we've been working, as you can see, in Spanish to relay all this information with regard to terrorism and counterterrorism and how to mitigate its effects in the world, especially while traveling. So if you care to support us, you can by helping us out here. That's our contact information. Our website is, you can go directly to Conciencia Radio, which is concienciaradio.com/AlertaT. Our Twitter account is at AlertaT TV. ALERTA T TV. Okay, now, here's what I'm getting at, okay? I wanted to do this video urgently. We also have the section which is not updated anymore, but it's at concienciaradio.com/US Terror Alert. I have very important information to relay to all of you with regard to the threat of ISIS on the border, okay? I have fresh information. This is exclusive information. Nobody's talked about it, but, I've decided to come forward through this YouTube video to relay the information to everybody. I interviewed Reza Khalili. I was the last person to interview him before he went totally dark. I can tell you he was right on. I read his book extensively, and he warned of Iran infiltrating the West via Mexico, via Latin America, in his interviews with me. I interviewed him multiple times. His interview is on YouTube. We talked about it extensively. He even said it on WorldNet Daily in May 14th, 2013, that they were going to try to strike the United States through a series of very big terrorist attacks. And all this has been escalating. It's because it's not only ISIS, it's not only Al-Qaeda, it's a whole ummah, a coalition of sorts of Islamic super terror powers, that terrorist groups that are uniting in order to instill their perverse Islamic caliphate. So we know we're at war. We understand this greatly. I got an email today from Family Security Matters. Thank you for their excellent work that they do, and in really relaying the information, especially with Colonel Alan West and everybody working, ferociously, I would say, along with everybody in the United States, trying to get the information out. We've been covering everything that Judicial Watch has been saying for 2 or more years now with regard to the presence of ISIS here on the border. I would like to say that ISIS is clearly operating in Mexico now, and we have the evidence to prove it. Before I go to this headline that you see here, which says, military intel confirms what Judicial Watch has been reporting, which is Muslim terrorists entering U.S. via Mexico. Now, this is not new. This has been reported for a while now. Now we have, let me show you where it is. Here it is. Here it is. Update, ISIS terrorist tells feds he has jihadist brothers in Mexico. So the feds, they arrest this guy on August 11th of this year. His name is Shaikh Mahmoud Omar Kabir. Now, this guy is an ISIS operative. He was arrested, and he's been training militants near the U.S. border near Ciudad Juarez for the past year. So we got this guy, this Sheikh guy, confessing to the feds. And then, we got Kabir talking to an Italian newspaper last week, 3 weeks ago, talking about this. This was reported by Judicial Watch that they're operating, right? And here it is. Hendricks contacted another ISIS operative referred to as CW-1 who was arrested last summer about working with him and several other terrorists to carry out attacks. Hendricks allegedly told CW-1 that he needed people and wanted to meet in person, that there were several brothers located in Texas and Mexico, that he was attempting to get brothers to meet face to face, and that he wanted to get brothers to train together, okay, in Mexico. Now, this has to do with the two conspiracies to chop off Pamela Geller's head, okay, in Garland, Texas. All this is related. It's all connected. These ISIS cells operating, we know, south of El Paso, Texas, in a region called Anapra, just west of Ciudad Juarez in the Mexican state of Chihuahua. The porous border situation is allowing this to happen. Okay? Now, what I want to get at here is, this is part of the story from Judicial Watch via the Free Republic, and here it is, okay? It's the same report. I'm just relaying the fact here. And this is the original story from Il Giornale in Italy. La Jihad trova un alleato in Mexico in narcos. So they're working with the drug cartels, and here they confirm this guy is basically boasting, you know, he's showing off that they're working here in Mexico. They're already infesting Ciudad Juarez, the region of Anapra, etc. I mean, this is happening now. This is the real deal right now. Okay, now, as we move along this, I have a huge story to break, an exclusive, but before I want to get into this, because this is, my hat's off to Judicial Watch. In spite of Univision going down there to Ciudad Juarez saying, no, there's no terrorists down there in Ciudad Juarez. Well, I have information that's so serious that not even the feds want to look at it. Not even anybody. I mean, I've been trying to contact people inside the U.S. federal government. I've had a face-to-face with the FBI, sit-down chat, you know, about the presence of terrorists in Mexico. We have evidence of this, okay? We have clear evidence of ISIS operating in Mexico, preparing for massive military strikes. Not only they're operating to conduct terrorist activities or terrorist attacks in Texas, no, they want to do a full-scale military sort of, I don't know, a surprise attack against military bases in Texas and along the U.S.-Mexico border. Okay? And this information here confirms it. Military intel confirms what Judicial Watch has been reporting, so Univision has to shut up and sit down and listen. I'm going to read it for you. Corroborating what Judicial Watch uncovered years ago, a U.S. military intelligence report discloses that Muslim terrorists are being smuggled into the country through Mexico. The government calls them special interest aliens, SIAs. Mr. Trump, are you listening? And Latin American smuggling networks are helping them cross the border, according to information obtained from a U.S. Southern Command intelligence dispatch. That's a document that they sent over the wire. Southcom is in South America. Located in Miami, Florida, Southcom is one of 9 unified combat commands in the Department of Defense. It's responsible for providing contingency planning, operations, and security cooperation in Central and South America as well as the Caribbean. The internal assessment on SIA smuggling has not been made public, but a conservative Washington, D.C. online newspaper, which is the Washington Free Beacon, obtained part of that information. Okay? Obtained key points from the command's J2 Intelligence Directorate. A Southcom Army colonel told the paper that in 2015, more than, check it out, 30,000 migrants who entered the U.S. through the southwestern border were from countries of terrorist concern. Now, I'm going to go back here. Reza Khalili, when I interviewed him, he said, Alex, it's 40,000. He said 40,000 are coming in. 40,000. Okay? And they're not necessarily ISIS, if you get my drift. I mean, everybody's been distracted with ISIS and Al-Qaeda when Iran is one of the main terrorist super axis to strike the United States. He reported this in May 13th. I interviewed him on this very same matter. Okay? So that's why it's so important. The interview is still on YouTube. Go to Boston Bombings Update, Reza Khalili, Alexander Backman. Click there, and it's right there. I interviewed him. I interviewed Reza Khalili. He talks about this clearly. It's a 27-minute update on that. In fact, Reza Khalili, if you just search for his name and my name, you'll find the other interview, which is a more in-depth interview about the Iranian solution, which is one of the best interviews that I ever had with him. This is the one. No, this is another one. Imminent threat. But there should be one here where I interview him. It's a longer interview. I think it's this one. Yeah, I think it's this one. It's 56 minutes long. It's this one. May 14th, 2013. Go listen to this one where I interviewed him and listen up, okay? This is massive. It's massive what we talk about here, okay? It's massive. But I need you to do it. I need you to stay informed. I need you to stay on point, people, because this is coming down fast, and the feds are not acting. They're just saying, well, Comey's like, sorry, we can't do anything. They're too powerful. They are using the social networks. We can't stop them anymore. Really? Well, here it says, Southern Command warns Sunni extremists infiltrating from the south. Sunni. That's Iran, right? That's not ISIS. That's Iran. They're coming in from Iran, from Syria. Okay? And I want you to understand this because they're exploiting the South in order to get in. Okay? 34 nations in all. They're coming in from Africa, Southwest Asia, Central Asia, East Asia, Afghanistan, Iran, Kuwait, Iran, etc., 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 even Malaysia. Okay? They're coming in. And here they mention the nitty-gritty parts of it. Okay? How they're coming. And here's the key word. You see that word there? Let me just zoom it up for you. Maybe you won't see it. There, Hezbollah. Hezbollah's current goals appear to be focused on accruing resources rather than on conducting offensive operations. However, the group's growing capabilities are still a clear threat to the regional interest. Well, you know what? Iran's involvement in Latin America is also increasing, and Hezbollah will likely be able to use these. Well, this is nothing new. And it says here, Barria said Hezbollah's networks in Latin America could be used by Sunni extremists to get to the United States. Really? Well, you know what? I have confirmation in Coahuila, in Piedras Negras, that's right on the border with Eagle Pass, Texas, of Hezbollah operating there. Okay, Hezbollah. Now, many people would say, well, Alexander, this is nothing new. We know they're operating south of the border, and so on and so on. You see, you don't see the threat, how grave it is. I mean, this is coming right now. It's coming at you, and it's going to hit you hard. I don't know what's going to come next October, but, they're planning something huge. I've seen the evidence. I can't show it to you here. It's too dangerous, but I've seen the evidence. They're preparing a massive full-scale attack against the United States of America through Texas. They're doing it, okay? They're doing it right now. It's massive. It's massive. That's all I can say. And I got something else, which is the exclusive I wanted to talk to you about. Now, but first, with regard to Hezbollah and the South and all that stuff, let me kick up my Adobe Reader here, because I want you to see what I have in front of me. Do you see that? This is a document, a white paper from, it's titled Threat Convergence, Revisiting the Crime-Terrorism Nexus in the Tri-Border Area. Between Argentina, Brazil, and Paraguay, there's a specific region And this white paper is from the Fund for Peace. You can download it online, okay, and read it. And it basically goes into what the tri-border area, which is Brazil, Foz do Iguaçu in Brazil, Ciudad del Este in Paraguay, and the Puerto Iguaçu in Argentina. Now, these places are, especially in the southern cone of South America, it's the triple frontier region, but it's full of Iranians, Saudi Arabians, it's full of Iranian nationals, Palestinians, Lebanese, Ukrainian, it's full. In fact, there's 75,000 people, mostly from Lebanon and Palestine, living just there. And they have set up shop, people. They have set up shop to such a degree that Iran is financing terrorist operations and human smuggling operations of possible terrorists into the United States through this region in the south. Now, they should have mentioned that in the report. Okay, it's this region here. This region here. It's full of terrorists. Okay, it's full, chock full, and they're working also with, organized crime and everything. In fact, there's an older report I got from the tri-border region out of the Library of Congress of the United States. And let me close this one up because it won't show on your screen. Okay, there it is. Terrorist and organized crime groups in the tri-border area, the TBA of South America. Now, this report, shocking enough, is from July 2003, and it was revised on December 2010. It's the same report, but it was, updated. And this is like 6 years old. And it's very simple. You'll see it right here. Drug traffickers, narcotics-funded terrorist extremist groups in Latin America. And again, it's the same area that we're talking about. And this is where they're funneling people into the United States, okay, through Mexico. But first they take them to Venezuela. And this is another thing you can read the whole thing, okay? I don't have to go into it. I mean, everybody's in on it. They even have activities, to attack embassies down in the South, everything, okay? You can read it for yourself. Now, back to this point. As they are operating, because this is a very short story by Family Security Matters via Judicial Watch, and I would do something better and more extensive. I'm not criticizing. I'm just trying to give more information to all of you based on this. Now, let me just open up the other document I have ready for you. Okay. Okay, I'm looking. Here it is. This is from defeatcommunism.com. Okay, because we know what's really behind Iran and behind, this fifth column attack using gray terror by the communists in order to bring down the United States of America and the West. They're going to use terrorism to conduct their operations. Okay, that's what they're doing. And okay, there it is. Iran recruiting jihadists, sponsoring terror through Latin American embassies. Now, what did Reza Khalili tell me? They're operating through South America, Alexander, through this organization, communist groups, okay, including ALBA, okay, which is tied to Cuban intelligence. The communists are behind the terrorists, okay? Quote, Iran is seeking to recruit potential jihadists in Latin America to attack the United States, and it's using its embassies in the region as intelligence centers that promote terrorism, according to an expert on the Islamic Republic's presence in the Americas and an anonymous congressional source. I wonder who that source is. Could it be Reza Khalili? Maybe. But check it out. The expert warned that Latin American operations linked to Iran's narco-terrorist proxy Hezbollah, a Lebanese Shiite group, have spread as far north as Mexico. So here's your confirmation. Over the confirmation. But this is where it gets interesting. With an interview they did to the executive director of the Center for a Secure Free Society, the SFS. His name is Ashark al-Awsat. He says, these Hezbollah networks have now spread as far north as El Salvador and Mexico. Through these communities, they raise money for Hezbollah, proper in the homeland, and establish networks for sleeper cells strategically placed throughout the region. Hezbollah is in practically every country throughout Latin America. Iran sponsors terrorism in Latin America by supporting Hezbollah and other terrorist groups through its various embassies throughout the region. Iran's embassies in Latin America function more as intelligence centers than diplomatic outposts, which provide command and control over some of the Hezbollah networks in the region. So there you go. This is like the confirmation. But this is where it gets interesting. Again, Washington Free Beacon says that Iran is seeking to recruit potential terrorists who want to cause the U.S. harm. The source added, Hezbollah operatives can travel easily to Venezuela. Okay, so let's just change the name from Hezbollah operatives to Iranian terrorists. It doesn't really matter. They can travel easily to Venezuela, and once there, they can get to Nicaragua or Cuba without passports or visas, which poses a national security risk for our nation. Of course. In fact, Venezuela is giving them passports. Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro, who's killing off his population through hunger, this communist dictator, and also in Nicaragua, and also in Cuba, they are giving them pasaportes to the terroristas so they can cross into the United States of America. You would say, well, the United States does not allow Cubans to come in. No, ask Obama. He's very communist and very, akin to these countries. Check this out. Just recently, a Hezbollah member was picked up in Brazil. An explosive device was found near the Israeli embassy in Uruguay, and Hezbollah members are reportedly traveling on Venezuelan passports. It was not too long ago that Venezuela offered flights to Iran and Syria, and as of last week, Hezbollah cells were found in the West Bank, where Venezuela lifted its visa requirements for Palestinians. Okay. So, the Alianza Bolivariana de los Pueblos de América, which is a communist organization called ALBA, which is the Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of America, of our America, they're operating. And they're helping these operations. They're funding them. Okay, now, this is the situation at hand. Retired Lieutenant General Mike Flynn, okay, the former head of the DIA, who was kicked out, remember, by Obama, because he didn't agree with Obama's, policies, part of the military purge of the United States, told Breitbart that Shiite terrorist group is illegally trafficking drugs and humans into the United States. So they know this. The U.S. military knows this. Comes to confirm it. This guy's killing off his people. Oh, by the way, he's a Muslim. Did you hear? He accepted Allah. Okay? Now, and I pray that the people of Venezuela are freed from this gangster thug and terrorist supporter. Okay? Now, let me tell you something that's... Now I'm going to go to the exclusive thing that I wanted to talk to you about. We've been talking about, ISIS on the border. We've been, talking about this for a while now. I've done a series of videos talking about this situation. And here's the head of the FBI saying, they're doing crowdsourcing. We can't stop them anymore. The article is gone. Anyway, they probably took it down off my server. They don't want me to talk. Do you understand me? They don't want me to talk. They don't want me to tell you what I know. And I'm going to have to say it now or forever hold my peace. So I'd rather say it now. Okay, for that, I'm going to just jump to Google Earth. And I need you to look at the screen right now very carefully to what I'm about to say. Okay? Now I'm going to remove this this tag here. I want you to follow me as I lead you through what I know. And I need to share this information with you. It's so very important. Now, you see here the world, and I'm going to show you something that's so massive. I mean, I just got to do it right now. Okay. I'm trying to gain my composure here. Okay. Okay. Something happened in May of 2016 that has not reached the media. In fact, nobody knows about it except me and the other person that lived it. All right. I'm going to put in some coordinates here, which I already pre-put inside the Google Earth application. These coordinates, they're going to take you to a specific place. Okay, they're going to take us to a city which is south of Los Angeles, south of San Diego, which is called Tijuana. And I'm going to take you there, south of San Diego, right now, to this slum part of the city, which is downtown Tijuana, which is really in terrible shape. Right there where I put that tag, and that's the coordinates for anybody in the DIA, anybody that really wants to do the good stuff, you know, and stop terrorists, that's where they are. Okay, that's where they are right now. You want to see how close it is to the U.S. border? That's how close. You see that yellow line there? That's the U.S. border. This is San Diego. This is downtown Tijuana. Okay, now I'm going to tell you what happened. Are you ready? Okay, in May. Now, I just spoke to this person who contacted me. This person, you know, well, recognized me and said, I need to talk to you. I said, yeah, what's up? Can we meet? We met. He talked to me. He sat right in front of me. He told me everything in detail, and I took notes, and I want to share my notes with you. He says he's a taxi driver, and he says that in this downtown region of Tijuana, here in downtown, in la zona centro of Tijuana, it's full of Muslims now. Okay? It's full of Muslims. A lot of Muslims. From Coahuila Street up to 4th Street. Now, I want to show you. Okay? I want to show you here. I'd have to go to Google Maps, and I'm going to, let me just open my other browser. I already have it here. And that's Tijuana, right? Okay? And I'm going to just bring up the... Okay, you don't see it there. Hold on. Let me... Okay, there it is. That's Tijuana. All right? And I'm going to go right there. And I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to see if this works. You see that on the screen? Okay. This is downtown Tijuana. And these are 2nd Street, 3rd Street, Coahuila Street. This is where all the prostitution... I don't want all the shady stuff, the bad. This is the slum part. This is the dangerous part of Tijuana. Okay. Now here, from Calle Coahuila all the way through 4th Street, there you got your jihadist activity on the rise and being reported now by taxi drivers. Okay, to me. Okay. So from 5th Street, from 4th Street, which is this one, tercera means third, segunda, primera, and Coahuila. From Coahuila, primera, segunda, tercera, 4th Street, all the way here. Now, this is where they are. There's even a hotel there. Now, he says he went to this hotel here. And I'm going to put it on... I'm going to go there like if I were a real person in Tijuana, which I'm not. But anyway... In Los Angeles, you have to drive south to all the way to Tijuana to be there in this place. You see? Rooms for rent. What else do we have here? Rooms for rent. Okay? Rooms for rent. And I want to show you the exact place. I think I already had it here. Rooms for rent. I'm going to have to see if I found the correct place. Give me a moment. I got to see the map here. You see apartments for rent? Do you see that? Right here? Apartments for rent. Se rentan departamentos. So, okay, here it is. Is this the place? Yeah, for rent right there. Do you see what I'm saying? It's all for rent, because nobody wants to be there anymore. Guess why? Well, you can imagine why nobody wants. It's dangerous just to be there. Now, if I go here, this is Melchor Ocampo Avenue, or Boulevard, or whatever, the street. I'm looking for the exact place that he told me about. He told me a specific place. Okay, I'm going to have to input this in a minute, but let me go back to Google Earth. So I want the intel to be precise and exact. I mean, this is better than any briefing you could get. You know, human intelligence is the best form of intelligence, and if it's 10% exact, you have to act upon it. Okay, and that's what I don't get. You know, I'm speaking out here. I'm telling these things. People not taking action here. You know, here's what happened. It's a hotel. It's called Hotel Garzón. This is in Cayo Campo and 5th Street. Okay, Cayo Campo and 5th Street. Hotel Garzón. This is it. That's a hotel. The hotel is, I think it's this one or this one. It's one of these hotels here. But this is the exact place that I have on Google. All right. Now, if I upload this to Google Earth, maybe it'll give it to me. Let me see here. I'm going to try to show it to you. Well, it says it can't show it. Oh, I put in the wrong coordinates. Hold on. Give me a moment, okay? Okay, here it is. Yeah, it's right here. That's the spot. Right there. Let me try and see if I can put it on street level and see if we can see it here. It's right there, as you can see. Okay, yeah, it's the same place. This is the place that I'm getting on my GPS coordinates. This is where they are. Okay? This is where they are operating right now. Now, I want you to understand. It's called Hotel Garzón in downtown Tijuana. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to go back here to my search box. And I'm going to put here Hotel Garzón. Do you think I'll find it in Tijuana? I don't think so. No, it's a missing place. Of course it's a missing place. Oh, there it is. Hotel Garzón. Well, that's the place that I'm talking about. You see, that's the place. So this taxi driver goes to this place. So let's go to Hotel Garzón there. There it is. Okay, this is the Hotel Garzón. So he goes here to this hotel, drives up, you know, and two young Muslim men, 20 years of age, Islamic beard and all, normal dressing, you know, and everything, except they had a green turban on. Green turban on, alert. And they demanded him to take them to the U.S.-Mexico border at San Isidro border crossing. They were shouting and screaming, and they said they wanted to cross through the desert. They were speaking in English, very broken English. They made a series of phone calls while he picked them up and drove them from here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I hope you mark that place. This is the Hotel Garzón right there. This is it, all right? This is the place. Let it load so they can see it. This is the Hotel Garzón. And while it loads the imagery, he drives them to the U.S.-Mexico border. From where my mouse is right now, he drives them here to the San Isidro border crossing, which is right here, I believe. Right here, right? This is the San Isidro border crossing. He drives them over here, the border, right? And they're demanding to cross. They're demanding. We want to cross. We want to cross into the border. We want to cross into the United States. Please, we want to cross into the United States. We want to cross through the desert. We don't care. They were calling on the cell phone multiple times, these guys, using burner phones. They were asking a lot about the authorities. They wanted to cross. They paid really well, by the way. I mean, do you see how big of a drive that is? That's blocks away, basically. From here to here, where you see the star, is right here. I mean, you could even walk it. It's like, what, 10 blocks away? No, they drove with the taxi here, asking him to cross them over into the United States. They had some form of weird paperwork that was issued by the Mexican government, of all things. They paid him 2,000 pesos, which is basically like almost, well, it was $200. Now it's like $100. But would you pay $100 from here to here? I'm asking you. $100 from here to I-5. From downtown Tijuana to I-5, asking and making multiple phone calls on burner phones. They had lots of phones on them. They were asking about authorities. They wanted to cross the border. They paid 2,000 pesos. Oh, but guess what? They got out of the taxi. Guess what happened when they got out of the taxi? As he left them here at the U.S. border crossing here. He probably left them over here or someplace here, because this is just the lanes to get across. You can't park there, so he's probably here. He leaves some region around here, I can imagine. Leaves these two guys. And they forget their knapsack, their backpack in the taxi. You get me? No, he told me he left them at the border. No, I remember now. He told me he left them at the border. So he probably left them here at the crossing. Now, and he gets out. He wonders about the bag. He opens it up. He checks there's only really clothes, some bananas, a bottle of water. But you know what? He didn't check, inside the sutures, the inside all the parts of the backpack. But what I'm trying to get at is that he goes and tells them, hey, you forgot your backpack. And they say, no, we give it to you. Keep it. We don't want it. You keep it. Keep the backpack. Makes you wonder, no? 2,000 pesos, keep the backpack. Don't worry, man. Leave us here. So they wanted to give him the backpack. And then, out of nowhere, they go back and start shouting, Arabic, whatever. And they go back and they say, no, give us back the backpack. Give us back the backpack after a phone call. Now, supposedly, the Mexican government gave them some paperwork because they supposedly had lost their passports of the country of origin where they're from. These are special interest aliens. This just happened in May. I was just reporting about. I needed to get this out. I couldn't, mull around it anymore. I needed to get it out and get it out now. So this is the worst case scenario, in my opinion. What if they're preparing car bomb attacks on the border at the San Isidro border crossing? Car bomb attacks. I've drove through here many times during my life, and when you see the low level of security on the Mexican side, there's just two guys on a bicycle, nothing to look at. Mexican police not doing anything, basically. And on the U.S. side, well, at least they ramp up. They're very well armed, and the U.S. Customs is doing a great job there, and so on. But what I'm getting at here is, what if they blow up a car bomb or two here, and guess what? They paralyze the border, shuts down for a week or a month. You know what would happen to Tijuana or the economy of San Diego if that happens? I'm not saying it will, but I'm saying this is a huge possibility based on the information we have right now. So from this place here, Avenida Melchor Ocampo. Okay? They went to that place that I just told you about. So, I'm just saying, people, this is happening right now in San Diego, California, right across the border, south into San Diego, south into Tijuana. And I need to get that out and show it to you so you decide and get this out. And I want you to, like, please get it out. Share it with people. This is human intelligence being shared live through ALERTA T. From here to here, and then whatever they're trying to do, but they're already in Tijuana operating. And get this, all downtown is full of them. Did you get that? All downtown is full of them. And we already gave you the coordinates. We already showed you where they are operating and the sector where they're operating. I mean, what else would you need to really start, you know, doing something, you know, at this place? And really doing something at this place. Okay, this whole region. I'm being reported. They're everywhere. Right here. All right. Anyway, thank you very much. Please comment below. I only approve comments. If you really want to contact me with more information that I can provide to you, if you offer the proper credentials, I am more than willing to help and provide further assistance to any authorities that require this information in order to conduct any investigation into this matter. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much, and stay safe, everybody.